all this week we're going to be thinking and acting like both an artist and a scientist. So the first thing we need to do on this observation sheet is to write our name. Down this column will tell us what we're going to be doing for each of the experiments that we're going to be doing this rotation. We'll be doing 4 experiments. The first one says research. That's what a scientist would do. And in art, we'd call that gather materials. So the first thing we have to do, it says if you were doing this at home, what supplies would you need? In this column, which is our first day, surface tension photography, I have to write down everything I need. Here's what I need. I am going to be giving you a piece of wax paper. You'll notice how one side is shiny. That's the side I want to use today. You will be getting a tray of watercolors, liquid watercolors. Food coloring at home would work. You have a clear tub of water. You have a little bulb syringe, or we call this a pipette or an eyedropper. And you're also going to get a toothpick today. The second part about being a scientist is to make an experiment. That means to test something out. This is where we try new things, we stretch and explore. So it says list the number of steps in the experiment. So we're going to write down the things that we do. Number 1. So the first thing that we are going to do, a couple ways we can do it, but I can just pick up some clear water inside my pipette. So I just squeeze it, let it go, that pulls the water up. And then I'm going to drop the clear water onto my paper. Oh, interesting. Notice it didn't soak in. I can make sort of like a bigger drop. And then from here, just like we saw Paulina Bright do, I can do some different things like pick up some of a color and I can try to drop it inside. Ooh, that's cool. Can you see that? Whoa. I can switch to different colors. Before I switch though, notice how I have some of this color inside my eyedropper. Before I switch, I'm going to squirt it out into the color that I just took it from. And then I can clean out my water or my pipette in here. Okay, so I can experiment by adding colors to one drop, seeing what kind of interesting things happen, or I can just start by putting down some different drops. So I've got some buff drops, and I have, remember I cleaned out my thing between each color, some blue drops. Interesting, the blue doesn't seem to blue seems to do different things. Okay, and now I can use my toothpick. Let's see what happens if I can get the drops to move towards each other. Ooh, I can combine them. Interesting, I made a different colored drop. Okay, I could create a picture. So your goal is to kind of experiment and explore with the drops. If you wanted to clear off your working space because you wanted to try some different experiments, you'd want to suck up most of your color, use a paper towel to dry off this space, and then you can keep working. Our goal at the end of class today is going to be to take a photo of something interesting that you were able to create. I'll show you some examples. At the end of today, hopefully we'll have time to write about what we observed. That means when we created the work, what happened? What did the water do when I dropped it onto the wax paper? Did it absorb? Did it kind of bead up on the surface? So this is just telling me specifically what you noticed. This is observing and creating that work. And then the last one says draw conclusions, reflect on your work. What did you like? What did you change? What did it make you think about or wonder about? Would this work on a different kind of paper? Would this work with a different material, like a different thing other than water? Like let's say we put oil, would it do the same thing? So that's a place where you can kind of make some predictions or draw some conclusions about your work. So at the end of this experiment, after we have cleaned up today, hopefully you can observe, tell us what happened, draw some conclusions. What did you like? What would you change? What questions do you have?